I want to start this off as this is going to be a controversial topic. And I know it's folks' opinions, but I just want to start off and say that one of the things I love about Linux and open source is the community and how much we help each other and not only make some fantastic software grow and be used, but we really go and help each other. But there's a question that two viral Reddit posts did make me ponder about. And here was the complaint. So there has been a number of users have been asking for LibreOffice to have a native export to MP4 button. Now, PowerPoint has had this for years. Now, bear in mind, PowerPoint is a paid application. LibreOffice is a free application by the Document Foundation. And here was the thing, though. Why was fascinating was, is there a habit of the Linux community to rather treat workarounds as features instead of implementing something? So what I mean by that is, instead of fixing something, is the community more likely to say, hey, we don't need to fix this, go use something else, or go do this yourself, or string multiple apps together to do this yourself? And again, I'm not saying that everyone does it, but it sometimes does happen. So in this specific scenario, the response that they got was just write a quick Python script to stitch the frames together. Why don't you use OBS to record your screen? Now, that is a very valid question. Do we really need video export? Why don't you contribute making what you need? And interestingly, of course, is LibreOffice obviously still doesn't have this feature and it's been requested for over a decade. And there is a common saying online that FOSS is only free if your time has zero value. And of course, I don't agree with that statement, but it's one I've seen used a couple of times. And basically it is, hey, if you need something, go build it yourself or buy something off the shelf. Now, another thing is toxicity. And what do I mean by toxicity? Often you'll find newcomers, it's like someone who's just started going to the gym. Often you're really excited, really happy, and that initial enthusiasm, you just want to brag to the world and talk to the world. And often these newcomers will go into forums or social media online and say some things that might not be correct and get met with some of the unkind words. Sometimes help requests get met with gatekeeping, which is like, okay, figure this out yourself. And some people have complained that the RTFM culture drives people away. Now, the other side of that, of course, could also be how else are you going to learn something unless you go read it yourself? It's an interesting dynamic. There is sometimes a bit of a line between these two. And of course, we all know kernel devs have quit over toxic background radiation, and other people have as well in other projects. And arch-gentle elitism bleeds into every distro sub, and it does happen. I have honestly seen that, and now it seems to be for other distros as well. And no matter which distro you use, it's the wrong distro, and someone else uses a better distro. And this person, in this example, went ahead. They created a custom wallpaper for CachyOS. They were proud of it. Now, did they use AI? Probably. I'm really, should they have drawn it themselves? Probably, yes. Am I going to excuse it? No. But all they did was they created something they were proud of and they shared it in the subreddit, and all they got was an avalanche of hate. So what did they do? Now, you could say they possibly overreacted here. They deleted the post, left the community, formatted their drive to remove CachyOS entirely, and they reinstalled EndeavourOS, and now they're at peace with themselves. And look, I just want to say, I think it's important to separate the technology from the people. CachyOS didn't go and mock your drawings or your wallpaper. Like, I don't know why you went and uninstalled your machine, but each person to their own. I'm not going to judge that. But why does this keep happening? Well, it's important to remember that identity over utility. And basically what I mean by that is some folks, Linux is their identity. right? I mean, look at me. It is for me as well. I mean, I have a channel that's called Gosh, It's Arch. And even I've struggled with changing the direction of the channel where it is. But some folks feel like it's an attack on them and not on the software. And there's always the survivor bias. You know, basically, people who stayed in the community so long have survived through so many struggles. They can't understand or might have forgotten that other folks are struggling. And of course, maintainers are overworked, they're unpaid, and honestly, when the 500th person asks for a feature they can't build, frustration boils over. The target might be misdirected, but it's not an imaginary thing. Trust me, I've managed open source projects and it can generally be something. But, folks, there's tons of progress in the space, and that's why I love this space. Again, KDE Plasma 6.5 has gotten fractional scaling, HDR, better refresh rates. GNOME 50's got redesigned search. Steam Deck has just helped Linux gaming hit 5.3%, which we reported before. And some distributions are prioritizing UI. And of course, there's other distributions out there that are taking their own stands. But the point is there is a choice and growth. And again here, 4.2 monthly active Linux gamers, 26% of those on Steam. So it's great. And of course, let's be honest, the Steam Deck has done a lot more for adoption than arguments, unfortunately. But there's a nuance, and both things can be true. So what do I mean by that? Gatekeeping can drive away newcomers. But desktop environments can be the best they've ever been, and sometimes gatekeeping and telling someone to go read something actually teaches them more knowledge. I know it did that with me. Just use the terminal isn't always the answer. Steam Deck proved it just works as possible. I mean, look, let's be honest. You can use the terminal. You don't have to always use the terminal for a lot of things. If it's out of the box, most of the time you don't have to anymore. And the terminal isn't only something that's used in Linux and Unix. I mean, let's be honest, there's Windows servers out there that you have to maintain and manage with PowerShell, and that's also a terminal. Missing features get defended instead of fixed. Depends on the feature and depends on who's behind it and the necessary. I'm in the case where I've been able to go and sometimes implement a feature or build my own thing, but not everyone has the skills or capabilities to be able to do that. And of course, share is growing. Toxicity costs the ecosystem's real users. That's both sides. Again, you're going to find toxicity anyway. You're not only going to find it in open source and Linux. I think it's just very popular in this space because everyone's talking about it. Distros, of course, have polished defaults. Volunteers burn out from thankless work. And of course, codes of conduct are spreading across projects. So folks do burn out. It is thankless work, unfortunately, but that's part of sometimes that's part of the licensing and sometimes something that you've chosen to do. Not to dunk on that, but that is a reality. So let's start building these things that we can build, help those around us. And now I expect to get a bit of heat from this topic, but again, would great to hear your comments. Thanks for watching and bye for now.